Hello, and welcome to another episode of Million Dollar Media. I'm your host sometimes, Emily, and with me today, who do I have?
Hi, it's me, Max.
You're the real star of the show, but he's letting me host this episode because today we are talking about the monkey. Now, I want to introduce this film to those of you who may not be familiar with it with a parable.
Okay.
In many, many marketing pushes for horror comedies, there are these same adjectives that always get used again and again. Outrageous, unpredictable, the most unhinged movie you'll ever see. Every time I sit down to watch a horror comedy, I'm disappointed because while they are sometimes unhinged or outrageous, none of them ever live up to the insanity that they promise in the marketing.
Mm-hmm.
Until the monkey, which is every bit as bizarre, unhinged, and batshit fucking crazy as the marketing suggests.
Mm-hmm.
What a strange fucking movie, and we have to talk about it. Ergo, this review. I wanted to get your thoughts on the movie, Max.
Oh, I've never felt like a fun, cheeky middle finger of a film in my life. Like a big old just like, but not in like a mean way, like I just stole your money, more in just like a fun like, I'll see you later. That film was just fun, but also just like, we're not taking this shit seriously.
Yes. Every element of this movie is meticulously crafted with the sole intention of it being bizarre. I will specifically point to the child actor in this film, who I believe plays both twins, and who delivers the most stilted middle school play I didn't want to be in ass dialogue of all time, and it is amazing.
I thought he was good, actually.
Well, yes, because he's contributing the vibe. It's just that all of the dialogue has this slightly awkward quality in a way that's, like, amazing.
Yeah, it's like no one acts like an actual human being in this film.
There's a scene where the slightly older twin pushes down the slightly younger twin and says, completely deadpan, "Do you want me to eat the rest of your placenta?"
Oh, yeah. Oh,
and it's not even like top 10 most insane things that happens in this movie.
I forgot about it.
Like, there's that scene where the younger twin is getting bullied because his mom is a single parent, and the bullies at school are just like completely no energy. So you just have a mom, right? So that means she wears the pants in your house, which means that you can't wear pants. Smash cut to the kid at home with no pants.
No, what's funnier about that is that it's all girls.
Yeah, and they're just like chilling in the boys' locker room waiting for the fucking kid to show up. This is the most, and that's just the first 20 minutes of this movie.
Yeah.
And I would like to point out, because I wanted to bring this up, I think this movie has one of the strongest opening sequences I have seen in a film in the past few years. I wanted to get your thoughts on just like the first 5 minutes.
I've never read the Stephen King short story, but I feel like that was it.
So no, that part wasn't even in the original Stephen King short story.
Well, it's strong in that it tells you exactly what kind of film this is going to be. Everything set up in this opening sequence, and the overall vibe of the film, the kind of violence, the kind of acting we're going to get.
I won't actually spoil who, but the main character in the opening sequence is also played by a conspicuously famous person, which adds to the vibes of it, I think. There are several side characters in this movie who are arbitrarily cast as incredibly famous actors purely for the purpose of fucking with the viewer, and it's great.
Oh, it's
the best use of celebrity cameos of all time, because there's like this whole surreal sequence about co-parenting wherein the other co-parent is played by an incredibly famous person, and it's so funny because you're just like, huh? What? It really plays into just everything in this movie is so strange, right? And like the best way possible. And to that end, we have to talk about the kills in this movie.
Oh my god, like, incredible. You would think like a premise like this, it'd be like Final Destination, where it's just like they're overly elaborate kills that lead to a really gruesome, gory death that are like that goes on for way too long. But what I like about some of the kills in this is they're just so fucking quick.
Yeah, the pool scene is teased in the trailer, but
my god,
whatever you think is going to happen, you are not ready for the execution of that scene in the movie.
It's so fucking wild.
And I have to at least partially give credit to Theo James, who also, in a weird You know what? I will say this because I don't think it's a spoiler. In a weird trend between our Nicolas Cage episode and our Mickey 17 episode, a lot of films that feature one actor playing multiple characters, as Theo James plays twin brothers in this film, and his persistent narrations throughout the film cracked me the fuck up at every turn.
Well, just the way they break down, like...
The coroner said it was an accident, but it was no accident. It was a monkey.
It's just like the deadpanness of it all. Because, the premise is silly.
Yes. So this was a story that was written during, how shall I put this, a particular era of Stephen King's career that he is out of since.
Oh, you mean the coked out era?
Yeah, I didn't want to make light of Stephen King's drug problem, but yeah.
He makes fun of it!
He was on shitloads of snow writing this story.
Yes!
And it really shows. Right, so the premise is about this toy monkey toy that really did exist, although not in the form that it's presented in the film, which is a conversation for another time. But there was a real toy monkey toy, and so Stephen King wrote a story in which one of these toy monkey toys, whenever it, in the original story, bangs its cymbals, in the film, bangs its drum, causes someone to die, but only when it's wound up. And so these two kids encounter the monkey and throw it down a well, only for, 20 some odd years later, the monkey to return and start killing members of their family again, and they have to vanquish it. And so that's sort of the premise. There's a couple more twists and turns to it, but it's an insane premise. The kills are extremely elaborate because the way that they're all framed is like actual accidents, not like Final Destination 8 or 9 things have to go wrong for the most part. It's just like the monkey causes some dumb shit to happen. Like one of my favorites, and this is in the trailer, so I don't consider it a spoiler, but at one point there's a real estate agent who's showing like a house.
Yeah.
And the monkey kills her by propping a shotgun against a closet door so that when she opens the closet door, it opens and blows out her torso.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, it's like, you'll make light of that, but like, I thought like in the film it would be like a really like, I don't know if you've seen Scanners, but like when the guy's head blows up in Scanners, I thought it'd be something like that. No, she fucking eviscerates. She's nothing.
Yeah. People in this movie die in such spectacular fashion.
Do you have a favorite?
Oh, it's gotta be either the pool kill, because what the fuck?
Yeah.
Or the last kill, which I won't spoil.
No, that's a good one. But I was gonna say my favorite has to be the golf course.
Oh, yes.
That
Classic.
is just so, like, the golf course kill is like it's a montage scene of just random things happening, but it's so random and is just a great, like, point into this film of just, like, the deaths are insane. Like, they don't care about logic.
I also love, there's one kill that I won't spoil the details of, but it's clear that this character is going to die, but they fake you out like 4 or 5 different times on how it's going to happen.
Yeah.
It's hilarious because you keep thinking that like one of these things will kill her, and then she like survives and just like is like, oh man. And then eventually when it does reach the climax of the scene, it's so bonkers. Like, what the fuck? How could they have even conceived of this? It's beautiful. I also, I do want to move on to like spoiler talk here shortly, but I just want to commend the filmmaking in this movie is excellent. I was not a fan of Longlegs, but mostly because I think its third act is kind of crap. But Longlegs was an exceptionally made film. Oz Perkins has proven to me that he can make films very well, because The Monkey is also a very well made film. It plays into its tone very well. It does a lot of fun things with perspective. There is a scene in which a character experiences a nightmare, and a hyper-realistic furry monkey hand reaches in from out of frame to grab him, and it's very well done and cool looking.
That was funny.
Yeah. It's bananas. Sorry, monkey movie bananas, but
well,
yeah, do you have any thoughts before we move on to spoilers?
I guess I just want to give a big credit to the acting in the film, just from Theo James and Tatiana Maslany.
Yeah.
Who you rarely get to see in a bunch of stuff, and I know, like, yeah, She-Hulk, thoughts, whatever, let it time. But she was really funny in the film, like, for the little bit that she's in it.
Oh, yeah.
Her, like, I'm stuck with these 2 kids, kind of, like, at the wit's end of my rope, like,
yeah,
mom who just, like... But she's also, like, not a bad mom. She's just, like, blunt about how the world works.
Yeah.
which I found really funny and is ultimately kind of the whole meaning of the film.
Yeah.
And I thought she was good, and I thought like Theo James was really good. He's just one of those actors that I'm like, I want to see him in more things because he's great in pretty much everything I've seen him in. Like, if you haven't seen The Gentleman on Netflix, the TV show adaptation, he's really good in it. He carries that show. He was in X-Men '97 as the villain. He's just one of those actors that every time I hear he is in something, I get really excited. So this was one of those films. I don't know the name of the kid who plays younger him and his brother, but he's also really good too. Apparently he's the same kid from Sweet Tooth, that Netflix show.
Oh, interesting.
You know, the boy with the antlers and the deer ears.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's same kid. But yeah, that's all I gotta say. I'm kind of excited to talk about spoilers.
Yeah, so moving into spoiler talk, I'm very conflicted, personally.
Uh-huh.
Outside of the last 10 minutes of this movie, I also thought the third act of this movie was bad. So here's the thing. Because the movie does not lose its insane energy at any point.
No.
But in terms of the actual narrative, they get to this lair, castle, hotel type of area of the main villain, and the plot just stops. It just grinds to a halt, and we get this really lame in comparison to the other ones kill with the wasps.
That one was ridiculous.
That one, I was like, we have fully jumped the shark. What are we even doing here?
I thought the effect was cool.
Yeah,
but like,
it just...
Like, the actual death was cool, like how they did that, but I thought we could have woven this in a little better.
Yeah, but no, that just really bugged me because it feels like... But no, that whole sequence, it feels like we get there and then we just have to spin our wheels until we can get to an admittedly fantastic conclusion that wraps up with a ending that sticks with you, I think.
I mean, aren't we in spoilers?
Yeah. The town getting destroyed, and that last shot where they drive through the sort of remnants of the town, and there's like the stroller on fire, right? And fucking the Pale Rider of Death walks by and just looks Theo James's character in the face before walking off, and then a bunch of cheerleaders get decapitated and the movie ends.
The cheerleader bit honestly was really funny for me, only because they set it up pretty well in the beginning, where like real estate agent gets brought out of the house, and all these cheerleaders just go like, "Yay!" when the dead body gets shown, and I thought that was like, what the fuck is up with this town? And then just to end it with that bit of like them getting like decapitated, I was just like, oh my god. And the pale horse thing, I was like, it's shot so well because like you see the horse and it's in smoke, so you're just like, okay, someone's on fire on top of it. But then you're like, that's a white horse. And then the guy is smoking, but not in like a smoky way. He's ethereal. So I was like, wait, no, they're not. And then they're just like, yep, it's death.
Yep.
That was so funny to me. Just like, just the ultimate, just, again, cheeky middle finger of like, we don't care.
Yeah. And then the cheerleaders get decapitated, and it's...
Oh, yeah.
That ending sequence is so strong, but everything with the twin brother feels like so nothing plot-wise. It just bugged me, because I really like the conclusion that they come to with like the main character and his son at the end. It just feels like we go through the whole twin shtick for nothing.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because I think the slightly older brother is an interesting, like, idea to play into, like, hey, if you had this idea of just, like, every time you wind it up, someone dies, like, someone would abuse that. I think, what you said, I think it's also just a really forced way to get to a conclusion, as you said.
Yeah.
Where it's just like, why do they end up at this hotel they didn't know about? Because some random kid who also wants the monkey because it looks like his dad. But at that point, I'm just also like, should I care? Because, like, the film ultimately doesn't care.
Yeah. No, for fucking real. And it's just... I don't know.
Even the guy who does the kidnapping, like the fake cop, it's obviously a joke, but that fucking wig.
Yeah.
Like, so obviously a wig. But I know that actor because he was in Halloween Ends. And
yes, he was.
As, well, Corey. I was excited to see him, but just him with his wig on, I was like, okay. And he just kind of feels like a weird, like, we gotta use someone to get from point A to point B so we could do the story.
Yeah, and it's a shame because I do like the ideas that they explore of, like, you know, we're in spoilers. Hal killed his mom, right? Not intentionally, but he did. And I like the idea of, like, what Hal did was bad, but it was ultimately an accident.
Mm-hmm.
Bill did that shit on purpose to people.
Yeah.
Right, and I think it's so interesting to look at how that interplays, because it's obvious that Bill was driven so mad by losing his mom.
Mm-hmm.
And I wish that they had spent more time exploring that aspect of those characters than some of the stuff that they spend time on in the third act. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I know exactly what you mean, because I thought it was interesting, and I like the film's ultimate message at the end of just like it's practically spelled out to them, like, look, we just gotta look after this thing, like we can't get rid of it, it's never gonna leave us alone, so the only thing we can do to like successfully like manage it is just to keep a lid on it, keep it close,
live with it,
yeah, and not ignore it, like not ignore the problem here,
which is a poignant and touching metaphor about death. I think
I thought it was more like just a poignant message about like generational trauma.
Oh, well, yeah, but it can be both.
I mean, obviously, yes. But just because the film opens up with the dad, and then the whole film is about the repercussions of the dad bringing this monkey into their lives, and then ultimately it being passed down to his son, and how his life is now fucked up because of it, and ultimately they're just like, this thing brings death and destruction wherever it goes. So as long as we personally don't spin the wheel, we should be good. But then they also say, like, the monkey sometimes just has a mind of its own.
Well, I mean, yeah, but presumably those are all contexts in which its crank has been turned. The only thing we know it can do is teleport, but it didn't kill any people in that time.
True. I'm kind of curious, like, I know, like, the path of fun of horror movies is not the rules and what it can do, but, like, what did you think of, like, the monkey itself? Because for me, I kind of like that they're just, like, it's unpredictable. Like...
Yeah. Well, no, I liked that about it, and I don't know, it's interesting, because again, I think it's really cool that this movie essentially has a dual central metaphor in the monkey of generational trauma, but also, like, fear of and experience with death, right? Like, it kind of takes on that aspect as soon as you get to the mom dying, and it suddenly becomes this avatar of living with death. And, I mean, they kind of establish that early with the funeral scenes, which are kind of hilarious in their own right.
I laughed so hard when the priest just was like, oh, fuck.
Yeah.
And just giving the worst sermon.
But I was going to say, I think it's really cool, because when you look at the monkey as a creature, it can simultaneously be something that haunts these characters, but is also random and unpredictable, which I like as playing into that dual central metaphor, right? Because the thing about the monkey is that our characters are never going to escape it, because that's how generational trauma works, right? Like, it's the monkey that is in their family. It's not like it's tormenting other people, it's theirs. But simultaneously, you never know when something is going to happen. And I like that the monkey represents that in Bill, and that he just keeps causing death, hoping that it will fill that void that death caused in him when he lost his mom.
It's interesting you say that. I thought he was just trying to kill his brother.
Well, yeah, but I mean that's part of it, right? Is a death for a death, right? Like,
I guess
killing whoever has to die randomly in order to kill his brother in hopes that will, like, make up for it. But you can't buy back what you've lost that easily, you know?
Yeah. Like, I saw this film way different than you then.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, I read it as just, like, these two brothers who are just, like, grieving in their own different ways. And, like, one is, like, he saw the monkey every time he turned it as just, like, eventually it will get to the outcome that I want it to be. Like, just math. Like, the one out of, God, how many people are in life right now?
8 billion-ish.
Yeah, 8 billion. 1 in 8 billion, I will get it eventually. And it's just that destructive cycle. That's how I saw it. Sorry, I'm so sorry I didn't mean to cut you off, but I just wanted to say that real quick.
No, well, we're not disagreeing, because, I mean, that is how he saw it, but ultimately we're agreeing in that what he wanted was Hal's death.
Exactly. Yeah.
Right, and in hopes that would give him peace. But it's not going to give him peace, right? Like, it was never going to. I really like that they kind of reached that point before Bill dies unceremoniously in I have to say, hilariously cynical scene.
Very.
But, yeah, I like how this movie uses metaphors. I think it's well written. I think it's well constructed. It has interesting things to say. And it also, despite having a kind of shitty third act, it does improve on the short story's severely shitty ending. by a lot. So in the ending of the short story, Hal and his son retrieve the monkey and decide that they need to put an end to it forever. So they throw it at the bottom of a lake in like a bag full of rocks. And the monkey is permanently trapped there, but every so often there are news clippings that report strange numbers of fish that die in accidents. And then that's the end of the story.
Oh, that sucks. That sucks.
Yeah.
This is a way better ending.
This feels like it improves massively on what was otherwise a lame and not good ending, you know?
Mm-hmm.
But I still just think Oz Perkins has not found the formula yet to writing third acts that I like. It just hasn't happened. I bounced off the ending of Longlegs. I bounced off the ending of this movie outside the last 5 or 6 minutes.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I'm really hopeful. This movie does also have a post-credit scene. This is a teaser for his upcoming third film.
What?
Oh yeah, did you not stay and watch it?
I didn't expect it. What is this third film?
Yeah, his upcoming movie is called Keeper. It comes out later this year. It's about women in different generations who are all haunted by the same thing. It's also got Tatiana Maslany in it.
Okay.
It comes out later this year.
Oh, all right.
He announced it using the monkey. He's just like, oh yeah, I also have another movie coming out this year.
Cool.
In his fucking post-credit scene.
I mean, it's kind of like the fucking X trilogy that we had recently.
Yeah.
Where each film is just it gets announced at the end of the last film.
Yeah.
Yeah. I did not expect it would have post-credit. I guess I should be more open to other films having post-credits.
I only know it has a post-credits because my friend Ian was like, hey, apparently this movie has a post-credit scene. I don't know what it is, but we have to see it.
Oh, okay. Well...
But suffice it to say, I liked The Monkey. I would still recommend it. You know, I've been a little bit hard on its third ending, but it has so much that's good. I gotta recommend.
Mm-hmm.
That's my take. How do you feel? What's your final takeaway here?
I really enjoyed it. Depending on how things go for the rest of this year, it's definitely up there for me. Just in this overall film going experience, it was so fun and just so wild, and just there was many points in the film just with me going, why?
Yeah.
But in a good way, not why am I watching this? Just, no, I'm glad I'm watching this. And yeah, I really enjoyed it, and I'm kind of glad that you were the one who got me to go see this.
Yeah, and I stand by it.
Mm-hmm.
You should show those DMs.
Yeah, you were just like, Max, you gotta see The Monkey. It's insane. I was like, okay. And then I also went to a bar, and I had a bunch of other friends basically look, yeah, get ready.
Yeah.
I was just like, oh, okay. Yeah.
No, The Monkey, I did drink before The Monkey, legally, YouTube, I'm 22. But, yeah, I did multiple shots of vodka, I ate food from a gas station, and then I watched the movie.
Right on.
Recommend, TBH. Well, thank you guys for watching our review of The Monkey. If you liked this video, you should watch all of our other ones, every single one.
Mm-hmm.
Dedicate your time and your eyeballs to our channel because it's really cool and good. Share this video if you liked it with someone who you need to inform that the monkey that likes killing your family is back and you have to vanquish it. And subscribe to our Patreon if you want to give Max money because, honestly, he's a good content creator and he deserves it.
No.
It's literally less than paying for a stripper, and he'll be so much happier. Is that too dark? Too dark.
Shit.
End of this video.
Bye.